All right, so there we go. I'll spend a few seconds on this one, just to go through the setup for BlackBoard Collaborate. All right, so who of you guys have done the audio setup? If you can hear me, that means you've done it correctly. If you can give me a green tick, from there you can just let me know if you've already done it. So Will, you've done the audio setup. Simon, yep, there we go. Aaron, you guys have all done it, so excellent stuff. What I might get you guys to do next is think about this bottom part over here on the slide. So if you haven't got a video camera or you haven't uploaded a photo of yourself, take a few minutes and right click on your name and then choose edit profile. So that will allow us to see a small little face picture of yourself. So there where my finger is pointing, that's where you want to go. See if you can upload a photograph of yourself. If you don't have a photo handy, you can always come back and do that at a later stage. All right, so there's our first slide on how to use Collaborate. So that's the first and most important thing. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. And you'll see that in the participants window, you have a number of items there. You've got a few boxes, and the one that we're going to use the most, I think most of you guys have already found it. It's the yes/no box, and you can change your answer there. So can you guys give me a red cross saying no? Let's just see. Yep. All right. So everybody's got it there, and you can change it. You can take it away, and of course I can also clear it out of the way and make sure that it works. All right. So that seems to be quite nice and easy. Simon, thanks for that red cross that you've given me. If we look at the next one, all right, so in your interactions with your lecturers, you're going to be able to respond and type some questions and do stuff, and this is important. So the emoticons, it shows us that you're either really happy, you're extremely happy, somebody has said something that you really like, so you can give some applause. And of course, there's also confusion. So I think when you guys do mathematics type courses, or when you do structural forms and analysis or building materials, the confusion icon will come up quite a number of times. So it's all up to you guys. You can play with that and make sure that you communicate well with your lecturer. The next one over there, if you find the yeah, there we go. Thanks, Andrew. Somebody is applauding finally. So thanks for that. I was expecting our Aces to give some applause, but she's really quiet today. So yeah, what can we say? If you decide that it's really a boring lecture, you can always set your status to be away and go and make some tea or coffee, or alternatively go onto Facebook. So go and check out Facebook, see if anything has happened there, and that will give us an indication that you've gone, and we shouldn't ask you any questions. All right, so let's all put the away sign on, and let's just make sure everybody knows where it is. All right, so there we go. We can see everybody's going away, which is a good thing, which means I can go and make some tea and coffee right away. All right, just joking. All right, so there we go, all back again. All right, so in many instances, you'll have to ask questions. All right, so you'll have interactions with your lecturers, and many times they will say stuff that you don't agree with, or they'll say stuff that you don't understand, in which case it will be necessary for you to ask a question. All right, so let's ask Will Robertshaw, if you can click on that hand icon and show everybody what happens when you do that. You can see there, there's a little number that comes up next to your name, and immediately we see there that it comes in orders. All right, so whoever's got the first hand up, that's number one, and we'll keep on adding numbers, and obviously your lecturer will try and answer all of those as he goes along, and it's quite easy to get that going. All right, so obviously all of you guys know how to do that, so we can move on to our next item. All right, so the yes/no polling, we've already spoken about that, but your lecturer can also change the polling to be multiple choice, for instance. So let's say if your name starts with a, let's see if your name starts with an A, if you can give me an A on the poll. If your name starts with a C, give me a C, and any other letter that you want. All right, and there you can see those letters are coming up. So depending on the types of questions that you're going to see on the screen, you might be able to respond to that. All right, so I see there's a question from Andrew. Josh, please call me Andrew P, so I know that you are talking to me. All right, Andrew P, I will definitely remember that. Seeing that we have two Andrews in the room, that's maybe a good thing. I'll definitely make sure that I try and remember that. However, those of you guys who've worked with me before, yeah, my memory is really busted sometimes, and especially on Fridays. I don't really do any work on Fridays. I'll try not to, so yeah, it might be difficult. All right, Andrew W, great stuff. So I've got that. All right, and then of course you all have found the chat window. All right, so the chat window is there for you guys to chat with each other, and if you have questions, you can ask questions from there. And depending on the age of your lecturer, the response will be quick or slow. All right, so if you have a reasonably older type lecturer, don't tell them I say that, it might be a little bit slow for them to respond, and you might have to put up your hand and just point towards the question. I try and monitor these things continuously. Something that you have to remember about the chat window is you can see if you click on the participants window, let's say for instance Jessica, so let's say for instance Oasis wants to talk to Miles, you guys can do little private chats by just right clicking on the name and then saying send a private chat. All right, so if you do a private chat, just remember that your moderator can read those chats, you know, so don't say anything weird that you might want to change later on. So for instance, gee, this guy is really boring, or alternatively something about the clothes that he's wearing or something like that. You know, that happens from time to time. All right, so Susie, you missed how and also the hand up thing. All right, so let's go and do Susie's thing again. So Susie, there you can see my little hand pointing to that button there. So Susie, if you click on that one with the hand, let's see what happens. All right, Susie Beamish, I take it that's you. Click on the hand. Let's see if you can do that.
Where's the hand? I'm sorry.
Where's the hand? All right, so there we go. You've obviously found the hand. Really happy about that. So that's a good thing. Thanks, Susie. I'll just put a smiley face just to show you that I'm really happy about that. Any other questions at this time? You guys can give me a yes or a no. If you have any questions, just type it into the menu. And of course, there's Susie. You've got a question. Yeah. So if you want to ask a question, go for it. Click on the talk button and let's hear the question. All right. So if you don't have a question, I might lower your hand for you. So there we go. I can lower all the hands, and you can see that PJ, you don't have any kind of questions at this stage. All right. So there we go. Well, Susie, you actually do have a question. How to change the letters. All right. So that's the question that Susie's got to me.
Yes.
And that's, Susie, I take it that refers to the polling questions, eh?
Yes, that's right.
So that's right. All right. So I get to change those. So you'll see the options that you currently have are A, B, C, or D. So Susie, give me a D. Let's see if you can give me a D. How's that going? All right. So there we go. I'll give you guys a C. There's my C. And Susie, are you with us on that one? All right, so yep. So Susie is there. She's given us a D, so everything should be okay. You've got your microphone on. Yep, go for it.
I see. You see. Yep. No, that's cool. I've got it now. Thanks.
All right, excellent, great stuff. Thanks for that, Susie. Always, it's good to ask questions and get that going. All right, so the next thing that I want to share with you guys is this little stencil that's next to the whiteboard. All right, and this is going to help you a lot. All right, so you can see there's the little things that we're going to use. I'll just move my hand around there, and then we can talk about the first one. So the first one is the selection item. All right, so the selection item is, let's say, for instance, we have a block. I'm going to put a block on the screen. I'm going to put a block on the screen that you can see. There's the red screens. All right, so Simon, I see you've got a microphone open. Have you got a question for us?
I don't yet. I'm just trying to keep up.
Ah, okay, so trying to keep up. If I'm going too fast at any point in time, don't worry, I'll come back and you can ask questions. And later on, of course, I'll get you guys to do a test, and you have to pass the test. I'm just getting the test for this. All right, so there you go.
Just one question. I just have one question. Do I need to click on video for you guys to see me, or am I already showing up on everyone else's system?
All right, yes, you have to click on video to get your video to be sent out to everybody. So the maximum number of videos that we currently have for this room is 6. So for the moment there, I'll put up my video, so most of you guys will be able to see me. That's me. You can see I'm working from home on Fridays, and I'm doing some ironing in the background, so don't tell anybody about this at the university. They don't need to know about my ironing techniques. The problem with the video is, of course, that it chows the bandwidth. All right, so it really eats up the bandwidth, and sometimes we might run into trouble, especially if you're on a slow connection. And in that sense, we typically turn off the video. So let's say, for instance, I've got 3 videos on the screen there, and I can see that Andrew P., you've got your video. Susie Beamish, you've got your video on. And who else has got video on at the moment? Oh, me, of course. All right, so let's see and if we can get Simon Clark. Simon, can you start talking?
Good morning, everyone. My name's Simon. Hope everyone can hear me.
All right, so there we go. I'll show you the thumbs up. So what happens is the moment the person starts talking, the camera will go to the big screen will become that person. And it's easier for everybody to see. All right, so there we go. We can play around with that and see if somebody else wants to talk up and see if the camera follows them. I can see Susie. Is it Susie? You speaking, but you have to click on the talk button to get going.
Just checking to check on the talk button while you're speaking to get on screen, and obviously you do. So you've answered my question.
All right, great stuff. Thanks, Susie. I can see you also working from home on Friday, working from home, so that's a good thing. Weekends are too short. Sometimes I think we should cancel Mondays just to, get things going.
Good idea.
All right, so...
I'll second that one.
Yeah. All right, who agrees we cancel Mondays? Give me a green tick, anybody? All right, Dylan, you're welcome to... Oh, there we go. Dylan has changed his mind, so there we go. We can see that. All right, so who of you guys have 2 screens at home? A computer with 2 screens. Does everybody have 1 screen or 2 screens? So yes for 2 screens and no for 1 screen. All right, so those of you guys who have 2 screens, this little bit is for you. You can actually drag any of the windows that you have. So the audio and video window, the participants window, and the chat window, you can drag that onto your other screen. All right, so those things can be ejected. You can just move it next to the next screen, and it frees up a little bit of space. Let's call it real estate. It frees up a little bit of real estate on your screen, and makes it a little bit easier for you to work around the stuff that you want to do. All right, so that's just a hint. If you don't have 2 screens, we sympathize with you, and I know that Office Mart has got some specials on those screens. So yeah, there we go. All right, let's move on to the next slide, and there we go. This is a map of Australia. If you didn't know that, I'm sure most of you guys hopefully will know that. Using the tools that we've just gone through, take a moment and add the name or your name on the map where you live. All right, so there we go, and we can see, I'm guessing that must be Oasis there, because Oasis, you told me the other day that is where you live. All right, so there we go. You can use the text box. You'll see the 3rd or 4th icon down on the screen is a little text box. So if you double click on that, it will allow you to type some stuff on the screen. So I'll just say I'm over here. Yep, there we go. I'm on the screen over there, so you should be able to see me there. You can also grab those little facing pictures and move them all over the show. Alright, I might just deactivate my video camera for a second, just to speed things up, I might just deactivate everybody's camera for the time being and see if we can speed up the delays on the system. And there we go, everybody's gone. Alright, so now you'll see, you should see a photo of me talking. That's a reasonably old photo. I still had hair at that stage. And you're welcome to obviously just right click on your own name and say edit the profile, and you can upload a picture of yourself. You only have to do that once. Alright, so if you're going to do multiple courses this term, you only have to do that once, and that little photo, you can change it later, that little photo will stay with you as long as you're at the university. Alright, so do we have any questions at this point in time from anybody? Any questions from anybody? If you can give me a red cross if you don't have questions. Susie, you've got your hand up. Alright, so Susie's taken her hand down. Alright, so no questions from everybody. Alright, so thanks for that. And now we'll move on to the next slide. And this is the one that you guys can't see at the moment, because I've not given you moderator rights yet. So I'll first go and talk through everything, and then I'll open it up so that you guys can see it. So just by giving me a show of hands, who of you guys have played in the tea room for this course? Has anybody been in the tea room so far? All right, so Oasis, you've been in the tea room. And Susie, you've got a question. Oh, you don't have a question? All right, so Andrew P., you have a question. Also not. All right, so there we go. All right, no questions. All right, so if you haven't played in the tea room, doesn't matter. If you do go into the tea room, this screen will automatically be ready for you to see, but at the moment it's not there. So just give it a second. I'll first talk about this, and then I'll activate the controls so that you guys can see it. All right, so very important. Well, actually, let me just do it so that you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to give all of you guys moderator rights right away. So there you go. Now you can see you've got moderator rights. At the top right-hand corner, you'll see the screen over here. All right, so with moderator rights, it means that you actually now can control the system, and that can lead to total chaos. All right, so if you're not careful with it, you can disrupt a lecture completely. So that's why typically you won't get the moderator access right away. But many times your lecturer will ask you to do some presentations. For instance, today we're going to get one or two of you guys to do presentations, so that's going to be fun. These two slides over there, or those two little arrows there, I'll put a red box around them. They are the ones that you are going to use to move your slides forwards and backwards. All right, so as you go along, you can move your slides forwards and backwards. And then you can see somebody has locked the screen already, so that means that somebody has activated those buttons over there. So I might just unlock them again and see if I can unlock it. Yeah, maybe I can't. All right, does everybody follow so far? The second button over there. All right, the second button. Thanks, Will. All right, thanks. Yep, there we go. Everybody's still happened. The load content button. This one is where you're going to load your presentation. All right, so it has to be a PowerPoint presentation, and the PowerPoint has to be closed before you upload it. It doesn't matter if it's 2010 or 2007 or 2003. The system will upload that, and what will happen is you'll see a small converter appear on your screen. It will open up PowerPoint, and it will do some stuff to your slides, and then it will upload the information into the system. So that's basically what that button is going to do. If we now go to the third one there, that little follow tick. Yep, somebody switched on the follow again. All right, so that one forces everybody to follow the presenter. All right, so if you're the moderator and you want your students or your participants in the class to browse through your slides on their own, it means that, everybody can go forwards and backwards. All right, so let's say, for instance, Miles, I've got you on the screen there. Miles, you go to another slide. So you can click on, or anybody for that matter, you click forwards and backwards, and you'll see you'll be able to move away from the slide where I am at the moment. So that's what that little follow tick does. If you click on it again, it should bring everybody back, and there we go, and it's back again. All right. Now, the next one over there, where my finger is pointing, that one has caused me some angst in the past because I didn't really know what it did. And what it does is, if you use the Page Explorer, let's all click on the Page Explorer, that little grid where my finger is pointing at the moment. If you guys click on the Page Explorer and say that you want to show the Page Explorer, what you'll see is it will open up another window where you can actually see all the slides. All right, so the moment you click on those two little arrows, then it will lock the screen. All right, so there we can see somebody's locked it onto Oasis's blank screen. Let's see if I can grab it back again, and you can see that no matter what I do, it stays on that screen. All right, so that's really important that you understand where that one is going to go. So why would you want to lock the screen? Let's say you are doing a presentation and you have 15 slides that you have to present to the class. It might happen that you cannot remember what your next slide is. All right, so then you're going to lock the screen. Everybody in the classroom will stay on that screen, and you can quickly scroll ahead and go and check out what's your next slide, and then come back, unlock it, and continue with your presentation as if you are really, really well prepared. All right, so does everybody understand what that button does? Give me a yes or a no. If you give me a no, then I'll just go through that process again. And most probably you won't have to need this for some time. It will be a while. So there we go. Everybody understands what's going on. All right, so there we go. That's that slide. Do we have any questions for today? If you give me a red cross, it means no questions from you guys. If you give me a tick or a hands up, it means if you've got a question. All right, so don't really see any questions from anybody. Yeah, Andrew G. Next time I'll definitely be the Incredible Hulk. What is the Silver Surfer? Oasis. There's a gap. We'll have to think about running a show called, well, we'll have to talk about this at a later stage. So we might have to post something in the forum about the Silver Surfer. I can't believe you don't know who that is. And Susie, you've got a question for us. Click on the talk button and off you go.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, okay.
I was just wondering, oh great, I was just wondering what's the fastest way to log on to Blackboard at the beginning? I've been going through the link in Moodle, but is there a better way to get on?
All right, that's a good question. There's no real quick way. So what your lecturer will do, what I might do, let's see if I can, I'll share the screen with you guys. So just bear with me for a second, and I'll see if I can bring up a page. Let's go to Communications and Skills, and just give it a second. I'll just upload my screen so that you can see the screen. So this is the normal Moodle screen that you've got. All right, and what will happen is your lecturer will typically put a link somewhere on the screen. All right, so you can see there what I've done there is I've given, there's the red letters that refers to the quiz, and that link is always going to be there. Alternatively, what you can do is you can click on the activities. All right, so the activities block will take you to this little screen over here, and this is where you'll be able to click in and put your name in, and then it should go from there. All right, so I'm not sure, does that, Susie, answer your question? It's a bit of a long way around, but that's the answer that I currently have for you on that one. So you happy with that?
Very happy, thank you.
Okay, great stuff. All right, so there we go. Any other questions from anyone? All right, and Dylan, you've got a question. Yeah, click on the talk button and go for it.
Just about Susie's question, actually. If you copy the link to a Word document and save that, you should just be able to open the Word document again later and open the page straight through there.
That's 100% correct. That link is totally portable. And what we might do is we might ask your lecturers to actually put it in a news posting so that it comes as an email, and you can just click on that link in the email. Who of you guys have got mobile devices like an iPhone or an iPad? A green tick says yes, you have some kind of Apple device. If you have an Apple device, you can run this on your Apple device, you know. So it doesn't run Android as of yet. The developers are working on it. I suspect that it will take at least another 6 months or so before we get Android on board. But at the moment, if you have an iPad, you can log into Moodle using your iPad and just click on the link. First, you have to download the little app from the App Store, but it really runs well, and you can interact and do stuff with it. Last night, I watched the lecture on building on structural forms and analysis on my iPhone, and I was sitting in front of the TV, so it's quite possible that you guys can do that. All right, so Andrew G says there, yep, would connect to a Wi-Fi rather than portable data. Yes, it does chow the data, but on that, I live in Sydney, Andrew, and quite recently I had to sit in on a student presentations. I think Oasis, you might have been there as well, and I was on a train. So I live about 25 kilometers north of the city, and I managed to, on the Telstra network, stay connected throughout 2 tunnels and about 40 minutes on a train. So it does work reasonably well. If you do drop out, just click on the link again and it will come back again. So there we go. All right, so what we might do, if no one else has any questions, I'm going to grab, before I do that, do we have any other questions? All right, so there we go, no other questions. Who of you guys have got presentations for today? Let's say just 1 or 2 slides with who you are and what you want to do in the next couple of years. All right, so we see Oasis, you there, PJ, you there, and Simon, you've got a presentation as well, and Andrew G, you also has a presentation. All right, so what I might do is I'm going to take away the moderator rights from everybody, and then I'll start giving it back to you guys one by one, and that will allow us a little bit of order in the class. So I'll give the presenter the moderator rights, and then the presenter can do their thing, and each of you guys will have a time to do that. All right, so there we go. We should have only myself as a moderator at the moment, so that means that I get to choose what happens on the screen. So I'm going to send you to the map, for instance, or back to that screen. All right, so who wants to go first with their own private, personal presentation? Hands up. All right, so we've got Simon. All right, great stuff, Simon. So what we'll do is we'll give Simon moderator rights. And Simon, there you go. You now have moderator rights. And what I'll do is I'll move to that slide over there. Now, Simon, you should have the load content button active on your screen. And what you need to do is just, all right, so if you have the load content button there, just click on it and point to your PowerPoint presentation, remembering that your PowerPoint presentation has to be closed.
Yep, got that. Right. Just clicked on it now. Do I open that?
Well, yes, if you've clicked on the load content button and pointed towards it, it should start going through a little process there. and let's see if it uploads those slides for us.
Yep.
All right, and typically this will take a second or so to upload. So if you have 50 or 70 slides, it might take a little bit longer. And when you are presenting, so when you are presenting, just a little bit of a note for you guys, it always helps to talk nice and slow and to add a number of pauses. All right, so when you talk, before you move on to the next slide, as soon as you click onto the next slide, wait a second. Just wait, because it will show that the rest of the class is picking up. What you guys might have also seen while you were moderators is it adds a little pencil mark next to the names with little lights, yellow, orange, red, and that means that there might be a delay on the student that's got those indicators. All right, so if you didn't catch that the first time, don't worry about it. We'll pick it up again a little bit later on. All right, so Simon, I can see your first slide. Can everybody see Simon's first slide up there? If you can give me a green tick for that. All right, so there we go. We can see Simon's first slide is up. All right, and Simon, what I might do is I might just keep quiet for a second, and you've got the floor.